What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In the last video that we did on this, we got my R33 GDST big brake calipers fully rebuilt. We brought them in pretty decent condition, but I decided to strip them down and rebuild them anyway. We put new inner seals in them, new outer seals, new springs, new brake pads, and I also brought a complete brand new pin assembly that holds the brake pads in. So we got a fresh 2 pins, the center section, and this little clip here. So they're ready to go back on. Today I want to put this new brake master cylinder on. I picked this up brand new from Fresh Garage, same place that I got the pins and stuff from. When we got the engine bay and the Cefiro painted, I didn't really want to go putting old crusty parts back in here, even though my manifold isn't looking the best. And brake master cylinder brand new actually wasn't that expensive, so I figured I may as well. Also in this video, I need to swap out my caster arms. When we first started working on this earlier this year, you guys saw me swap all the subframes out of my S14 drift car and we put them into this. So this has got the full angle kit, it's got the cut knuckles, extended LCAs, A32 tie rods, and it did have the JB Fab caster arms, which we have here, but unfortunately these were slightly too long for the Cefiro. Even adjusted all the way in, they were still slightly too long, which sucks, so I had to put some factory ones in there just so I could A-frame this thing places. But yeah, I've had these lying around for quite a while. These actually also originally came off my S14, so hopefully I'll be able to get those short enough that we can chuck them into the Cefiro, because it's got the full angle kit. It needs adjustable caster arms to be able to get that good drift alignment. I've had a little hunt before and I'm able to find a couple of my brake lines, the one that goes across the firewall, one that goes from the master straight down to the side on the driver's side there, but I was only able to find one of these. This goes from where the hard line comes out on the side there, and it goes to the caliper itself. As I said, I could only find one, so I'm going to have another quick look to see if I can find the other one. If not, any of you guys have one for sale? Plan of attack is going to be jack this thing up, take the wheels off, and take the other caliper that is currently on this off it. Yes, I am aware that these caster arms do not look in the best condition, but it's just surface rust. These things are perfectly fine. There's no point in them going to waste. Alright, so immediately that lines up, and this is way too long. And I'll screw this in heaps. I'm actually wondering if these are even going to be too long as well. We're going to be good, and we should get away with a tiny bit of adjustability. Also before, I'm sure a couple of you actually probably noticed when I put the camera in here before to show you guys about the brake line and stuff, but this brake line is actually still here, so found it, stopped looking. So I'm also taking the spacer off because I've decided that I don't want to run it. Initially this was going to be not a drift focused car, but it was more orientated towards drifting. Now that I'm selling it, I'm kind of leaving it more at a point for the next person to sort of decide whether they want to continue turning it into a drift car, or if they wanted to put it back on the street, they easily could. Before we go checking these calipers on, I quickly got to fix a mistake that I made in the last video. So shout out to Jared W for pointing this out for me, because if he hadn't have done this, I definitely would have gone and completely screwed my brake seals, brand new brake seals. So yeah, I've got to go and take these brake pads out, or the pin assembly out, and I've got to fix the outer seal, and I'll show you exactly what I did wrong in a second. So just pull the brake pads and all the pins and stuff out, and this is the problem. So right here, you can see pretty much there's just seal. You can't actually see the top of the piston. That's not how it should be. The edge of the piston actually should be the point that pushes against the outside of the brake pad here, not the seal itself. This is how I got it wrong. I pushed the piston all the way in as far as it could go, and then I tried to put the seal just over top of it like that. What I actually needed to do was get like a flat head and pull the piston till that's sticking out like that. Instead of just trying to have that all the way in and pressing it on, what I needed to do first was sort of get this inner edge around here to sit under that little lip at the top of the piston there, so it needs to sit in there. Kind of like that. Ends up with it looking like that. And then you push that piston back down to where it needs to go. And then you put the outer edge of the seal around the lip on the caliper itself. Then we put the spring on, and that is how it should be, not like that. I was about to hook up the brake line to the caliper, but unfortunately, so this was basically zip tied like that out of the way. So what I think has happened is because of the angle kit, when I'd aim framed this to Robbie at some point, I must have turned that way. The wheel's turned and the back of the wheel has rubbed up against that. Not to worry, I actually have already got one on the way. So shout out to Blake from Hustle Parts for hooking me up with one of those. Hopefully that's here in the next couple of days so we can get that on, but not gonna be able to do much more with that side today, but I can get this side all sorted. So I got the passenger side caliper and caster arm all in and sorted. Now I'm going to chuck this master cylinder in. Once we chuck this in, then I can chuck this long line on that goes across the firewall, and then we can button up the line that goes to the caliper on this side. So good opening brand new parts. Would you look at that, boys? I'm about to connect the brake line up on this side. The line that we just ran across the firewall just comes out here. This is a line that goes from that to the caliper. It's got the top like that, and you can kind of, I don't know how let me pick the light up so the camera can pick it up better. So this can only sort of go on one way. You see that kind of little, it's like there's a little spike there. So yeah, this sits a specific way against this, which is like that. So that goes up there, so it's around so it's flat, and then grab a brake clip. Then we take this line. Now this one's a little bent, so this might take a few goes for it to go where we want it to. Before we go connecting the line up and putting the banjo bolt in, where it seats against the caliper itself, I'm just going to take a bit of sandpaper and just scrape all of the paint off. That way when we've got our copper washer on there, it's got nice flat metal surface to press against. It's less likely to leak that way. I mean, I don't think it would leak anyway, but... So we've got a banjo bolt. and I have my glorious stack of brand new copper washers. This costs like $5 off Wish, and this has probably been one of the most handy purchases I have ever made in my life. This is not quite long enough to go back there where it needs to go, unless I actually have these shocks on the wrong way. Come to think of it, I think I might have these struts on the wrong way. I think that should be on that side. Yeah, so I've just realised that I've put these struts in the wrong way, so I'm gonna have to take them out and swap them around, because yeah, that little bracket there holds the brake line. That should be on this side. That's why it doesn't quite line up. And somehow this collet was all the way up. So basically just replace that strut. So that one came out of that side, and the one that's from this side is just here. The little bracket that actually holds the brake clip is quite bent, so just gonna take a pair of pliers, just bend it back. This whole side is now complete. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it for this one, guys. Cheers for watching. I didn't quite get as much done in this video as I wanted to, but I wasn't quite banking on having to fix two of my own mistakes. I don't claim to be the utmost expert on cars. I still make mistakes, I'm still learning, but yeah, it's all a part of it. Hopefully we can make some good progress in the next one. There is a lot of work to do over the next couple of weeks with this thing. In a couple of days, Sheldon's coming back to give me a hand with finishing off the prep work on the body to get that painted. We've got a whole lot of stuff to do with fabrication work coming up next week. So yeah, lots are happening and I can't wait. So yeah, anyway, cheers for watching, guys. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on Sunday.